In this lesson, we'll be going over the operations map. For more information about the operations map, you can refer to the GSTOP, Chapter 6, page 76. The operations map lesson objectives. We'll explain the purpose and use of the operations map. We'll describe the standard cartographic and data elements, give examples of supporting information that could be included in an operations map, explain why the entire incident area and all pertinent information must be displayed on the operations map, review some operations map examples, and discuss cartographic and GSTOP elements. The purpose of the operations map is to display incident features on a map for operations personnel. Uses of the map include operations section chief, branch directors, division group supervisors, the ICP, other resources in the field, and at meetings for strategies, tactics, and planning. Design criteria. E-size maps are printed for ICP use by operations section chiefs for strategic and tactical planning, as well as division group soups, safety officers, and other field resources. Other sizes of the map can be printed as needed. Always export as GeoPDFs for use on mobile devices. The scale is going to vary based on operational requests. A smaller fire may warrant a 1 to 10,000 operations map versus a larger fire that might warrant a 1 to 36,000 operations map. That map may be one map for an entire incident, or it could be multiple maps to break up areas of interest, such as an east-west or a north and south. Safety and comprehensiveness should always be a consideration when designing your operations map. Cartographic elements. As with all map products, we will display a scale bar, title, author, north arrow, date of preparation, legend, source, graticule or grid, and datum. Data elements to include are the incident perimeter, ICS line and point features, such as completed line, drop points, camps, ICP, etc. Division and branch breaks with labels, major transportation routes to the incident, as well as administrative boundaries, political boundaries, such as cities, counties, states, ownership, and base map backgrounds, which could include topographic or orthoimagery, depending on the request. Supporting information on the map can include additional data or symbology that supports the operational plan, some of which may include wilderness boundaries, historical or archaeological information, usable versus non-usable water sources, and historic and prescribed fire perimeters. This information varies fire to fire, and on some fires, certain sensitive information may be shown on the map to avoid the area being worked in. Proportional symbols and features. This is a detailed map, and it must be readable as it's printed. Make sure that your line weights and symbol sizes are clearly visible but not obscure other features. The map should be easily readable on mobile devices as well. Here's an example of an operations map for the Southern LNU complex in 2017. This shows the Atlas fire, and you can look at a example of this in the supporting materials if you want to zoom in on a PDF. This is another example of an operations map from the Valley incident in 2015 in Lake County, California. This is an example of a large fire on a single E-size at 1 to 50,000 scale. And this is an example of that same fire, the Valley incident, being split into an operations west and an operations east map. With the split, we're able to reduce the scale to 1 to 36,000. As you look at these maps, it's important to take into consideration that there's extra space outside of the fire perimeters that allows for growth in case the fire does spread. The last thing you would want is the fire to grow off of your map during an operational period. Another thing that you'll notice on the Operations East map, you'll see that there are 3 other fire perimeters that are being shown from the same year, as well as one fire that burned the year before. And on this map, we're also showing some of the dozer line that was put in place during some of those other fires. Similar map products. In some cases, the operations map is synonymous or very similar to the situation map. So you may get requested to put together a situation map and not an operations map, or vice versa. Sometimes I've also seen where we'll produce an operations map and then one copy goes to the SIT unit and then gets written SIT unit on the map for any additional changes throughout the day, gets placed on that one map, and then is typically brought back to GIS once all of the changes have been approved. Another similar map product is the operations map with IR, which is usually produced at the start of an operational period. Once the IR data is available, we'll just overlay the IR data directly on top of the operations map and create another map product called Ops with IR. Also, we're starting to see some other maps that are called the planning map or the operations BAM, also known as a 2-panel ops. These maps are used in operational pre-briefings in the morning, where they want to see a 2-panel operations map kind of zoomed in with all the features that you would see on the E-size map, but it's just easier to brief from in a meeting. Definitely always consult with your situation unit leader for direction on any of these map products. Operations map lesson objectives. We explain the purpose and use of the operations map, describe the standard cartographic and data elements, give examples of supporting information that could be included in an operations map, explain why the entire incident area and all pertinent information must be displayed on the operations map. And we reviewed some operations map examples and discussed cartographic and GSTOP elements.